Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Madeline, the astrologer behind Sundance Astrology, and I am here today to talk to you about the upcoming full moon in Aquarius. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am a Hellenistic astrologer, so I do use whole sign houses in my practice, as well as traditional rulerships for these forecasts. If you are returning, thank you so much and welcome back. So before we dive into the chart for this Aquarius full moon, we'll talk about a couple things that have happened or are also occurring in the background, but not so relevant to the chart of the full moon. The main thing that has occurred since the Leo new moon is the apex of the Taurus conjunction of Uranus, Mars, and the North Node. So for many, I think this was just a moment of insight, clarity, breakthrough through breakdown potentially, or maybe a little bit of acceleration on the path that you are on. So I would love to hear how this showed up for you. Please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we do have Mercury in the sign of Virgo, which it ingressed into Virgo, I believe, on August 4th. So Mercury is not only in domicile or at home in Virgo, but it is exalted in Virgo. So it is essentially propped up. Mercury in Virgo is very analytical. It can get into the details. It can kind of pull and break things apart, and it's a great problem-solving energy. So I think this is really nice to have in the background of this kind of maybe uprooting conjunction in Taurus. It's also ahead of the sun, and it is probably considering things for the future. So between now and August 22nd, I believe, is the best time to utilize this energy to kind of get ahead of things, plan things out, because things certainly get dicey as we head into October and November. So once August 22nd happens, Mercury will still be in Virgo, but it's starting to slow down, and it'll actually enter its pre-shadow phase at that point in time for its retrograde, which will occur in September. It's gonna retrograde from 8 degrees of Libra back to 24 degrees of Virgo. So once we get to August 22nd, we're entering retrograde territory, which means at that point you might just be rethinking things that you are considering at that time. So for the next 10 days or so, really great time to utilize this energy. I think other than that, let's go ahead and dive into this chart.
All right, everyone. So here is our full moon in Aquarius chart. This is coming in at 7:35 p.m. Mountain Time on August 11th. Please do adjust that time as it will change based off of your own location. This is in Mountain Time. So we have the sun and the moon opposing one another, creating this full moon at 19 degrees of Aquarius. The sun is at 19 degrees of Leo, but the full moon is happening in Aquarius. And as you can see here, it is conjunct Saturn. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, so I use him as the ruler of this chart. So the moon conjunct Saturn can definitely be quite sobering. Saturn is the planet that deals with restriction, maturity, responsibilities, separation, control, discipline. So we have the moon conjunct Saturn. This can bring in a little bit of a factor of emotional maturity, emotional security as well. So this moon in Aquarius conjunct Saturn certainly can bring in a little bit of a coldness factor, a little bit detached. This is a full moon that, while the moon certainly heightens our emotions, there can just be a sense of really just kind of like coldness to it. And there's a lot of fixed energy going on here, so there might just be some tension that we are working with. And this moon in Aquarius can certainly help us kind of pull away from it on an emotional level and observe. And Aquarius is the sign that deals with potentiality in the future. So there really is kind of a superpower here. Although Saturn can give this feeling of constriction, the moon in Aquarius does have this ability to kind of observe from a higher level of not really getting stuck in emotional realms, but really being able to observe and consider how we can move forward, how we can move into our future in an ideal way. What is the ideal way to move forward into the future? So there's a lot to be said here about Saturn. But something else that is quite interesting is that we also are getting a square from Uranus and Taurus, which is still conjunct the north node of the moon. So this square to Uranus and Taurus is essentially being amplified. The north node of the moon has the ability to really just kind of be like a volume up situation for this. So while we have this Saturnian kind of like coldness, we also have a pretty big signature of Uranus and Taurus kind of shaking things up. Now, this is a signature that we experienced for the entirety of 2021. So I invite you to take a peek back at 2021, really kind of mull over what your big themes were in 2021. To give you a little more context, Uranus and Saturn, their exact squares in 2021 were about mid-February, toward the end of June, and Christmas Eve, so December 24th. But they were essentially interacting all year because they are slower moving. Their orbs didn't get too far away at any point in time. So really consider what went on in 2021. This would be honestly like great journal prompt. Just take some time, sit down, and really kind of write through what your big themes were last year, because this full moon is starting to amplify that again. Saturn is currently at 22. It is retrograding. Uranus is stationing to retrograde. It is going to station retrograde at 18. So it's sitting tight at 18, and Saturn is going to meet it at 18 degrees towards the end of September. I do believe actually it's early October. So they're going to come and meet together one last time. They won't connect by minute, but they will connect by degree at 18 degrees. So there's something going on here during this full moon. Again, we can consider full moons as peak culmination of energy of the moon cycle. So there's something here that is being amplified, especially with the north node of the moon, that is kind of starting this rewind, if you will, that's kind of going to bring you back to these themes of 2021, either to revisit something that you thought you had completed or you did complete in 2021. There's like a little bit of a rehashing here. Or if there was something in 2021 that you wanted, you were working towards, but you actually didn't quite complete, this can also serve as a completion. Although, you know, these energies, Uranus and Saturn are essentially opposites. So Uranus has the qualities of acceleration, liberation, freedom, breakthroughs through potential breakdowns, things like this. So while Uranus kind of accelerates the path, Uranus wants us to break through something. Saturn is the signature for time. He is a planet that can bring in longevity. So the more I think about this, this really just feels like we are establishing something that is liberating us out of something. So there in 2021, you're trying to really break through something. You're trying to work towards something new. Uranus has this new quality to it. And although it can come from just like general rebellion, it does desire freedom in some sense. And this constant interaction with Saturn, although they have been, you know, farther apart for the majority of this year, this final meeting is really like Saturn wants us to take this Uranian erratic nature that we are kind of stepping into, and how can we harness this for the long term? Because sometimes the Uranus energy can be quick in and quick out. It's shocking, it's sudden. And Saturn really wants to bring it in and harness this energy for the long term. This is what I'm feeling here. So there's something in this full moon that is kind of starting this over again. So if you feel like you're back in 2021, there's a little bit of deja vu. What's nice about this energy, although it is honestly kind of challenging, it's not like we haven't done this already. We've been here before last year. So something is being amplified and starting to return. And this full moon is really amplifying this, even though they're not going to exactly square until I believe it's the first week of October. So this is kind of just like that slow start. And Uranus has this quality of like quaking energy. Saturn has the quality of almost like a stop sign. So this feels to me like a quaking stop. There's a lot of tension. We're quaking to a sudden stop before we start to accelerate towards this final square in October. So, really if we take the sun into this as well, the sun in Leo, as it is what is lighting up this full moon, the sun square Uranus can really be soul liberation, although it may feel tense at first. So again, Uranus has this disruptive quality. It's very eccentric. The sun in Leo wants to express itself. So this can be like freedom of expression, although it may come as shocking to others. Rapid shifts in your ambition or your current life path. Uranus can also like turn things over and bring you, Uranus sun especially can turn things over and bring you onto a path that you maybe didn't even consider before, or you thought you would never be here. This is divine change. This is kind of like shocking you back into alignment. And this is still playing off of that Uranus North Node Mars conjunction that was occurring in the background of our Leo new moon, which started this entire moon cycle. So there's something here that we are really kind of just trying to break out of something, but this full moon can act as almost like a quaking stop where we have to consider how we're going to move forward. Especially with Saturn. Saturn wants responsibility and maturity. He also wants a discipline. So there can be something here where we really have to be disciplined and mature to consider our steps forward. What's really nice about this is that, as I mentioned in my intro, we have Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury in Virgo is honestly the perfect Mercury for this kind of mess that we have going on, where Mercury in Virgo is like, okay, I can analyze this. I can really kind of break things down, get into the details. And if it feels like there's a lot going on, Mercury in Virgo has the ability to really see what is the most important. How can we focus on that, pull it out, and move forward? So I like that we have Mercury in Virgo during this. This can also be like Sun square Uranus opposite Saturn, upheaval to force clarity or illumination on our path forward. So this is big energy. And if we think about the Aquarius mythology, Aquarius shares its waters with the community up above. It's detached from the community, but it is still sharing its waters, which you can think of as knowledge, talents, life force. It's nourishing, it's life-giving. Its waters are pure. This is why you hear Aquarius get this detached quality, because it's not muddying its waters with emotional baggage or other people's stuff, right? So I really want to pair this with the sun in Leo. This feels like we need to like filter some things out. Because the sun in Leo really wants freedom of expression. Uranus interacting with this full moon certainly says the same thing. And this Saturnian quality can almost be like, how can we discipline ourselves to create structures or boundaries so that we aren't muddying our own beautiful, unique waters with other people's projections, other people's baggage that we have taken on, or even like, I'm thinking like cords that we have to other people. How can we really filter our own waters and dilute them so that all this extra stuff that does not belong to us is gone? How can we really find our pure heart-centered energy and share that with the community? So Aquarius also deals with outsiders, individuality. So know that whatever is unique to you is absolutely needed in the community, in this world. And the sun in Leo wants to express that. So we just need to kind of make sure that we're not getting caught up or doing things because other people think we should be doing things, social media, blah, 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 all of that. Even like familial projections. There's like, I get this like filtering essence from this full moon where we really, this Saturnian discipline can help us kind of clear the waters, clear the gunk out of our waters. And how can we take this moment of like a quaking pause to do that so that we can move forward and really share our unique qualities, talents, knowledge with others? This will in turn inspire others to do the same. It has the same life-giving quality where if we're doing this and other people see us doing it, then they may be inspired to also remove the gunk from their waters, because we are all so special and unique. And that needs to be shared. So really kind of coming back home to the heart with the sun and Leo. So, generally there's a lot of energy here and tension in the fixed signs because we have this north node here conjunct Uranus. And of course we have the south node in Scorpio opposite this. So if you consider the nodes, we have like a big old cross going on here. And in the fixed signs, these are areas of our life and our chart that like reliability. The fixed signs are the signs that sustain the season that is going on. So Scorpio sustains the fall. Aquarius sustains the winter. Leo sustains the summer. Taurus sustains the spring. So if we think about this Leo Aquarius, this fixed energy, we have Uranus and Taurus, is kind of shocking and disruptive. It's almost like, imagine you're in the middle of summer, super hot, and all of a sudden it starts snowing. Like this is kind of what's going on here in these areas of our life, that it's like, no, this is always like this. This is very reliable. This is very sustained. All of a sudden we're being asked to change, especially with the nodes in these signs. We have eclipses going on later this year, again, in Scorpio and Taurus. So these are areas of our life that like being reliable, but there's something here that is being uprooted, where change is sort of necessary, and they are the fixed signs. So this change is slow burning, which is, again, what's kind of nice about this full moon is we have been here before. We have dealt with this energy before through eclipses earlier this year in late April, early May. Also last year with this Saturn Uranus square. So even though we are being uprooted in these areas, it is kind of like a slow burn of change. So I imagine that you kind of already know where this is happening. You've already been feeling it. And this is just another peak moment where you might really kind of see this. So the good thing about tension is that it can force action or growth, which is something that is, apparently necessary with what we're dealing with right now. So this brings me to my full moon mantra: from the tension, I grow. So I hope that you all have a very enlightening full moon. I hope that somewhere in the tension, you can find your own unique growth. Use this kind of quaking pause to consider and really harness this Mercury and Virgo that's going on in the background, where you can really kind of tap into the analytical nature of Virgo, getting nitty gritty into the details, but also not getting stuck in everything that's going on. This Mercury and Virgo can really kind of pick a couple things that are necessary and focus on them. There's an impeccable quality to Virgo. So really, this is a nice time to have this Mercury in Virgo. So again, my mantra or affirmation: from the tension, I grow. If you've not read your Leo season horoscopes, I do have those up on my website, where I kind of break this down a little bit more for each sign. So you can see those on my website, www.sundanceastrology.com. This is also where you can book a reading with me if you would like to do so. My books are open. If you like this video, please do give it a like. If there's someone in your life you think would benefit from this information, you can also give it a share. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. This really helps me grow my channel, as well as comments. So if you're feeling this, please feel free to throw in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, what's going on for you. I love to connect with you in that way. I also have a Instagram page and a TikTok. You can find me on both of these outlets at Sundance Astrology. So thank you all so much for being here with me. Again, I'm wishing you an enlightening full moon, and I will catch you in the next one.